River Farm Network is celebrating women in agriculture with the program we're calling Agricult-HER. And we have the pleasure to be visiting right now with Leah Halverson from Grand Forks. Leah, appreciate the chance to connect with you.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. Anytime I can talk about women in ag, my hand is raised high. So I appreciate it.
You are such an advocate for agriculture and this business in general. Educate me. Tell me about your start. You grew up on a farm?
I did. I grew up on a farm north of Grand Forks here by the beautiful Forest River, North Dakota. And so my family, we grow potatoes. My brothers and I, we are the fourth generation of our farm growing potatoes. We actually started with 10 acres outside of Forest River. It was my great grandpa Hallie Halverson in 1928. He ended up with a section of land, and he put in 10 acres of certified seed potatoes. And so we talk a lot about those 10 acres. And so now our family grows potatoes throughout the United States, but we talk a lot about those 10 acres and how it started. And so I grew up on the farm. I would, excuse me, grade potatoes, weigh trucks, rogue the fields, do all the things, that good farm kids do. And then I went to college, and I thought, man, you know what? I got to get out of ag. There's something bigger and better beyond agriculture. So I started working at an ad agency, but little did I know that they had an agricultural part in that agency. And I think you remember this, Don, when I
Yeah.
started kind of my career journey there. And so they're like, wait a minute, I think you know a little bit about farming and agriculture. And so I'm like, okay, I'll help just for now, right? Well, that was almost 20 years ago that I chipped my teeth in ag marketing. And then time went on, and again, I'm aging myself a little bit, but social media started to be a thing, and the whole people want to know where their food comes from and branding a farm. And so I would call my dad, and I'd say, you know what? I think we have an opportunity as a family and as a farm to maybe talk about what we do. And there's this thing called social media and Facebook, and I'm learning about it in my job. And when we need to do this, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know about that." And anyways, went down that path, and then finally I said, seems like you guys should have somebody full time to really, really work on this. Oh, okay. Well, as much as I loved weighing trucks, I wanted, if I was going to come back to the farm, I wanted to do something that I loved, right? And so the door kind of opened for me to come back, quote unquote, back to the farm. So I came back with my family, and I did sales and marketing and business development, and I sold potatoes to, Kroger and Hy-Vee, and I did all the trade shows on the produce side. So I did that for several years. But that creative side and that advocacy side, just of me didn't go away. And so I had a birthday creeping up around me, and I sat my family down, and I said, I have an idea, and I want it to be called 10 Acre Marketing, and to pay homage for my great grandpa. And I think we can, from my history and my experience, I think I can get together with some people, and we can really help brands position themselves to advance agriculture. And that's what we talk a lot about. And so we started 10 Acre Marketing, or I started 10 Acre Marketing 5 years ago. And so now we have a group of 10 of us that are just pounding the pavement and working hard to advance agriculture. So
Well,
that's the long story of it.
congratulations on 5 years. I
Thank
want to
you.
go back. You kind of downplayed it. Your family grows potatoes. It's like Black Gold Farms. You guys are all over the country. Maybe tell that story a little bit. What is it? 7 states, or where you?
Yeah, we're in 7, 8 states. Sometimes we play with the number because, as you know, even here in North Dakota, Minnesota, it's a border thing. But so what we do is we grow a lot of potatoes for chips. That's our when I say our Black Gold's main crop. And so we grow potatoes. We start down south in Florida, and work our way up the country, and we supply most of the major chip manufacturers with potatoes that are east of the Rockies. And so we've been doing that, of course, for years, and it's been really fun to see the change and innovation on that. And it's before sustainability was even a word back in 1985 when we had a very good sized chip company said, "You guys do a great job growing potatoes in North Dakota, but we need maybe some potatoes by the plants and by some population centers." And so my dad said, "Okay," and got in the pickup and drove around and found some locations where potatoes could grow, and we cut some food miles out. So we've been doing that for years. We also grow some sweet potatoes in Delhi, Louisiana. A lot of those sweet potatoes go to French fries, to sweet potato fries, and also in the fresh market to little customers like Walmart, etc. So it's been really fun to watch our family's company grow, Black Gold Farms, and now my one brother is the CEO, my other brother is the chief farming operator, and my dad is doing a terrible job of retiring. So it's been fun.
What's the perspective when you're farming multi-states and in a generational farm business?
We definitely have to view it as a business first and kind of get over that old romantic family farm narrative, because it is a business. Even though it is our family farm, it's owned completely by my brothers, my dad, and myself. And we can treat our people as such, but each farming location is different. Each culture in their communities are different. The people are different. Some of the agronomic practices are different, and so we have to make sure we have people with boots on the ground that are from that community to really understand it. And every time we make a decision, we ask ourselves: does a customer want or need it? Is it going to add value? Are we going to be able to be successful? Is it sustainable? Will it create opportunities in the future? So yeah, we may be here in Grand Forks. My brother Eric lives here in Grand Forks, but it's about the people that we have helping us out that are you hear the whole adage: make sure you hire people that are smarter than you, and we make sure we do that as much as we can to bring into our team.
And you get a national perspective. You're involved at the national level in the potato business, as I know your dad and your brothers have been as well.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough also, we kind of take turns to be part of the Potatoes USA executive committee. And that has been a real thrill. We get to, first of all, talk to other potato growers around the country, even those guys from, Idaho and that grow kind of a different kind of potato and have a different business model, but learning the different practices and, how do they be better farmers, and how do we create the Potatoes USA, they say, create demands so more people can eat more potatoes more often. And so that's been really fun to work with the growers and the Potatoes USA staff on developing programming with that.
I know you've been a part of the leadership program, the leadership development program with United Fresh as well. What's that experience been?
Yeah, and we've always been our family, and again, as you know, if there's a program to develop ourselves, is it even professionally or within the ag sphere? Again, we raise our hands to do that. So it's no longer United Fresh; it's the IFPA leadership program. But when I was in it, it was United Fresh, and that was absolutely amazing. It was a year-long program, and I got to meet other individuals that I was only potato person there. And so that blew my mind that there's actually farmers out there that don't grow potatoes, because we live in our little bubble sometimes here. So it was really great. We got to go visit all sorts of farms, spend some time in the Salinas Valley in California, that fruit and vegetable production sector. So learn about that agriculture, meet the people. It's that the network that these leadership programs put you in is absolutely critical. And I will say this till the cows come home, that I would not be where I am today without these different programs or different organizations.
Well, I love to see the growth you've had with 10 Acre Marketing, starting from one now to 10, right? You said as far as employees. Tell me about your clients because you're really telling Ag's story through your business as well there.
Yeah, we are. Essentially we want to stick in the egg world, but also egg is so much more than just, and I don't even want to say just the guy on the tractor, right? Like, yes, of course, that's very critical, but anything to, from, and for farmers that advance agriculture. So we have right now we essentially have two teams. We have what we call production ag, and so that would be the row crop sector, the traditional agriculture, and so that's a lot what we see here in North Dakota and kind of in the Midwest. And then we have another team for the produce side, and again, I've learned a lot about that with that leadership program we talked about, and even selling some fresh potatoes, that there's this whole sector of produce and farmers and growers that need a little help, and they need support to talk about their products, talk about their sustainability initiatives. They need to promote their own company to get talent. They need to talk to consumers about what they're growing. And so the more we talked about it, there is kind of a Venn diagram that traditional production ag and produce, or food that is grown and you see in the grocery store, there is that marriage between. And so we're lucky enough that we have a team that understands that, and we can work kind of across the board and tell that agricultural story on both sides of it.
There is a need for education. You use that word sustainability. I think that really is a buzz throughout our industry today. When we look at the general public, what do you want folks to know that maybe they don't understand about what your family's doing in the farm business?
Yeah, I always love that kind of question. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole of data and water usage and this and that and the other thing. But honestly, what I tell people is, I tell you what, I eat what my family grows. I always have and I always will. I have a daughter. I have seven nieces, and um, they are a part of what we're doing. And so sustainability is really doing the right things for your family and community. And we want to leave the ground and the environment better than what we started. And we do that. We're constantly learning. We're constantly improving. It's a journey. We don't just check the box to check the box. We do things so we can do this for years to come. And farmers are people, and farmers have families, and farmers eat what we grow.
Leah, who would you say are your role models?
Oh gosh, there's a lot, and not that it pains me to say, but honestly, watching my dad do what he did to really grow our organization has been nothing short of a front seat to excuse me, a farmer business school. Um, he's been a role model, of course, in watching my brothers take over and do what they do, as well as on the ag marketing side. There's a lot of different agencies. I'll call back to my ad farm roots, which you're familiar with. Everybody I worked with there, there's so many people that have done so much and taken risks. And I think some of the greatest things is seeing people make mistakes and seeing what happens when they get back up and move forward and learn from it. But honestly, I would say I'm really lucky that my who I've learned the most from in terms of agriculture and business and leadership, it's literally in my back door, and who I surround myself with every day.
Yeah, you've got quite the fortune of having the dad that you have. What
Mhm.
advice would you give women in this business that may be thinking about coming into this business?
Yeah, I love that question too, because like I said, Don, between my daughter and my brother's girls, there are eight girls coming up on generation five of our family, and so we're really really excited about that. I mean, what are they going to do? I have no idea. Right now, it's about soccer, volleyball, prom, whatever, and that's great. And you
Uh,
know, but what I tell them and what I tell any other um, um, female, or just any young person, is that getting involved with agriculture looks so much different now than it did 20 years ago, heck, even 10 years ago. There's so many different aspects to it, and there's room. There's not just room, but there's a need for everybody and every experience. Some things that I see now, and even with our kids, right? We no longer, we didn't, they don't grow up on the farm anymore. We're, big city kids now in Grand Forks, right? And so they're up, so the upbringing is different, but that doesn't mean that you can't be a part of agriculture. Um and just to surround yourself, and if you're interested in the food sciences or any type of science, there's a spot for you in agriculture, right? And of course, marketing or anything creative, there's a spot for you in agriculture. Anything, if you want to work with your hands, of course there's a spot for you in agriculture. If you're an IT or systems an analyst, there's a spot for you in agriculture. And so I think that's a message that we really need to keep communicating, specifically to young people, and even with a spin on to women and to young women, that there's, again, not just room, but a need for absolutely everybody and every skill set and every experience.
Great message. Any final thoughts for us before we wrap things up, Leah?
No, I appreciate the time, Don, and I say it, and sometimes it's not a popular opinion, but I look forward to the time where there's no longer a specific women in ag thing, right? That it's no longer considered something that needs to be addressed or talked about. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. And again, I am more than happy to be a part of it, but I see in the future that it's an industry that's welcoming and opening to absolutely everybody and anybody, and it is now. But it's just even going to get to be more and more. So I'm so excited to see what happens, in the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Great message. Leah Halverson with us. Again, it is our series called Agriculture, as we focus in on women in agriculture. Our thanks to all of our sponsors for making this possible. I'm Don Wick on the Red River Farm Network.